Filipino tennis ace Alexandra Eala is moving one step closer to a Wimbledon breakthrough. She's the first Filipina in the Open era to reach the third round of Wimbledon. Sheila Salaysay tells us more.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we witnessed today at Wimbledon wasn't just another upset. The biggest shock of Wimbledon 2026. Part 2, A Star is Born. Losing the opening set was something Iga Świątek rarely experienced. But if there was one thing the tennis world had learned over the years, it was never to count the defending champion out. As she returned to the court for the second set, there was a noticeable change in her body language. She looked more aggressive, more determined, more desperate. And almost immediately, the momentum began to shift. Świątek started serving with greater precision, forcing Eala onto the defensive for the first time in the match. Her forehand regained its explosive power, and she attacked every short ball with the confidence that had made her the world's best player. The pressure increased point after point. This time, it was Eala who found herself defending longer rallies. The champion finally earned the early break she had been searching for. A loud roar echoed around center court. It was the kind of celebration fans had become accustomed to seeing from Świątek, a reminder that she was still the defending Wimbledon champion. For a few moments, it looked like everything was returning to normal. Her confidence grew. The unforced errors disappeared. She controlled the baseline once again, forcing Eala farther behind the court and dictating nearly every rally. Despite fighting bravely, Eala couldn't stop the momentum. Świątek closed out the second set and leveled the match. One set all. Exactly what everyone had expected from a champion. Most spectators believed the turning point had arrived. After all, countless players had pushed Świątek early before watching her completely take over in the deciding set. Experience usually wins these battles. Pressure usually favors the champion. But Alexandra Eala had no intention of becoming another name on that list. As the players prepared for the final set, Eala remained remarkably calm. She wasn't frustrated. She wasn't intimidated. She simply reset her focus. Whatever had happened in the second set was over. The only thing that mattered now was the next point. When the deciding set began, Eala immediately reminded everyone why she belonged on center court. She attacked Świątek's second serve without hesitation, stepping well inside the baseline and taking the ball incredibly early. The opening game turned into a marathon. Every point became a battle. Every rally pushed both players to their physical limits. Świątek managed to save several break points with brilliant serving, but the pressure never disappeared. Finally, after another exhausting exchange, the champion pushed a forehand into the net. Eala had the early break. Center court erupted once again. This time, however, something looked different on the other side of the net. Świątek wasn't just frustrated anymore. She looked shaken. For years, her greatest weapon had been her composure under pressure. Now that composure began to disappear. Her footwork became rushed. Her timing started to fade. Routine shots suddenly became difficult. The first serve percentage dropped. Unforced errors began piling up. Every mistake gave Eala even more confidence. Sensing the opportunity of a lifetime, the young Filipina refused to become defensive. She did exactly the opposite. She attacked harder. Her serving became even more accurate. She mixed wide serves with body serves, constantly preventing Świątek from finding any rhythm on return. Every rally showcased her intelligence. She changed direction beautifully. She used slices to keep the ball low. She mixed pace with precision. Whenever Świątek expected power, Eala produced touch. Whenever the champion anticipated a long rally, Eala suddenly attacked the net or fired a winner down the line. It was tactical perfection. Soon the scoreboard became almost unbelievable. 2 breaks ahead. Then 3. The defending Wimbledon champion was running out of answers. The silence around center court became impossible to ignore. Fans weren't simply watching a match anymore. They were witnessing history unfold. With every passing game, belief spread throughout the stadium. Could Alexandra Eala actually do it? Could one fearless young woman from the Philippines eliminate the world number one? At 5-1, Eala stepped onto the baseline with the biggest moment of her career staring her in the face. Across the net stood one of the greatest champions of this generation. One final game separated history from heartbreak. The opening point went against Świątek after another unforced error. Then came a costly double fault. The pressure was becoming unbearable. Although the champion managed to win the next point with a brilliant forehand, Eala answered immediately with an incredible passing shot that brought up double match point. The entire stadium stood. No one wanted to miss what came next. Świątek bounced the ball, took a deep breath, and tossed it into the air. Her first serve missed. Now everything depended on the second serve. The stadium fell completely silent. You could almost hear every heartbeat inside center court. Świątek served again. The ball clipped the top of the net. It fell back onto her side. Double fault. Game. Set. Match. Alexandra Eala. For a brief moment, nobody moved. It was as if thousands of people needed a second to process what they had just witnessed. Then center court exploded. The crowd rose to its feet with deafening applause. Eala dropped her racket. She fell to her knees on the famous Wimbledon grass, covering her face with emotion as years of sacrifice finally paid off. On the opposite side of the court, Świątek stood frozen. The defending champion had been defeated. Not by luck. Not by circumstance. But by a player who had outplayed her tactically, mentally, and emotionally. The post-match scenes were unforgettable. Eala struggled to hold back tears during her interview as she thanked her family, her coaches, and the millions of supporters who had believed in her long before the rest of the world knew her name. For the Philippines, this victory meant far more than reaching another round of a Grand Slam. It represented hope, pride, history. Children watching from Manila to Davao suddenly had a new hero. A player who proved that dreams built through hard work can compete with the very best in the world. For Świątek, the defeat was painful, but every great champion eventually experiences moments like this. The real question isn't whether she'll recover. History suggests she will. The bigger question is whether other players have now discovered the blueprint to challenge her on grass. Alexandra Eala exposed weaknesses few had managed to exploit. Her variety, her patience, her fearless shot selection, and her willingness to change the rhythm of every rally prevented the world number one from ever feeling comfortable. This wasn't simply a physical victory. It was a tactical masterpiece. More importantly, it sent a powerful message to the entire WTA Tour. The next generation isn't waiting for permission anymore. They're here, and they're ready to challenge every established champion. As for Alexandra Eala, this victory may become the defining moment of her career. Not because she defeated the defending Wimbledon champion, but because she proved she belongs among the very best players in the world. Whether she goes on to lift the Wimbledon trophy or not,